What's going on, everybody? Kevin here. We're going to go over some of, all of Grant Morrison's Omnibus released so far as of January 2021. Animal Man, Omnibus. Okay, from what we can see here, it's a pretty nice, clean cover. We got the spine right there. Now this one is actually out of print, and it's been out of print for a while now. It retails at $75, but I haven't seen them any lower than about $200. The spine's been broken in pretty well, and it's pretty sturdy. Virtually no gutter loss. I think they used this cover for the collected editions that came out not too long ago. This series was one of the first, one of the last that DC made for mature readers before going to Vertigo in the 80s. It touches on a lot of things, a lot of themes about what it means to be a man trying to provide for his family while also being a struggling actor and a struggling superhero. Grant Morrison, a lot of what he's touching on here are just a lot of the things that he cares about, very metaphysical, very Silver Age oriented. What's really popular about this series is, like I said, it's very metaphysical. It gets to the point where Grant Morrison is basically literally talking to himself. Morrison talks about his inspiration in the comic book about why he's writing this comic book. So it's a very cool way to wrap up a series, very, very different and very different for the time. Definitely could see some themes influence, Sandman. It seems to be a little bit inspired by Swamp Thing as well. So yeah, right before everything was officially Vertigo, Animal Man was one of your few mature reader titles, and it is well regarded and still is. For the next Omnibus I'm going to go over, it's actually a set of Omnibus. It's going to be the Batman by Grant Morrison Volume 1 and Volume 3. These omnibuses do not collect his run from Legends of the Dark Knight, which was, I think, 5 issues, called Gothic. And it does not collect the very popular Arkham Asylum, a serious house on a serious earth. They do have those in the deluxe editions, which are the same height and same width. So they do pair nicely side by side with it. So here they are all laid down together. On the back side, we see the contents and the price tags. First off, they retail for around $75 a pop. The inner cover of these ones. Yep. Just classic black and white. I believe all of them are printed this way. Similar to the cover, the front cover. Just black and white, which would make it more uniformed if you take the dust jacket off, but who does that? No one wants to get rid of the dust jacket. This is a popular run by Grant Morrison, but also your mileage may vary on how engaged you are in it. Like all Grant Morrison stories, he gets very heady. It starts out like a pretty basic, like straight to the point plot. Batman's son Damian shows up one day, and Batman's just trying to deal with that and kind of incorporate him into his family. Obviously, there's some pushback because Damian was raised by the League of Assassins, and yeah, him and Robin don't get along, and he does become Robin later on. Spoiler alert. Eventually, they introduce an enemy called the Black Glove, who's may or may not be Batman's father, who is now a villain. It introduces this world of supporting heroes that are basically Silver Age analogs to Batman. Like there's a characters called Knight and Squire. And it just shows how Batman is starting to create this international network of superheroes outside of the Justice League. The Batman R.I.P. story is what ties into Final Crisis, which is also another Grant Morrison omnibus. Let's just check that in our cover real quick. Yep, so Volume 2 would be very uniform. This series is cool. This is where Dick Grayson, spoiler alert, Dick Grayson takes over as Batman after Batman is killed in Final Crisis. There's a big mystery of like, is Batman actually dead, or what happened to him? Why are there all these hints left through time that Batman is trapped in time? Spoiler on that one too. He is trapped in time, and they figure out how to bring him home. All right, so Volume 3. All right, still got that black and white. Volume 3 is cool because this is where Batman creates Batman Incorporated. Batman takes people like I was saying earlier, Knight and Squire from England, and he just creates a network of superheroes that are all kind of in communication and in cahoots to keep the Earth safe. This one, the art gets it changes almost every issue. I think they have a different artist in every one of them. But it's cool because it's almost like an anthology. Obviously, something has to happen at the end of his run, something big. You don't want to go out on a whimper, so they do kill off a Bat Family character, and it happens to be the one that Grant Morrison came up with. So that was kind of a shock and kind of a letdown to see him be let go so easily, mostly because very quickly after this series wrapped up, they just brought that character back to life. So it just seemed kind of like it seemed a little gimmicky. All right, next on the list, Doom Patrol. Everyone's favorite X-Men ripoff. Just kidding. They probably came first, honestly. Doom Patrol, like Animal Man, mid-'80s, late 80s comic book series. A lot of you may have seen the new Doom Patrol TV show. This is almost exclusively the influence for a lot of the storylines and plots in there. Let's look at the spine real quick there. This is one of the more expensive Omnibus, and I believe it is still in print. So Doom Patrol, it's about basically these misfits with powers who have to create their own family. They're not completely understood by the world, and they have a leader who's in a wheelchair who's trying to help make them feel like productive members of society. That doesn't sound like Charles Xavier at all, and that does not sound like X-Men at all. That is its own thing. While I'm on my X-Men Doom Patrol comparison rant, what's funny is Grant Morrison actually ends up writing X-Men about a decade later. So, cool side. I like it when they put graphics on here so that we could, if you ever accidentally rip your dust jacket or lose it, you still have something to look at. It doesn't sit on your shelf naked. The Doom Patrol died years before this series picks up, so there was a big hiatus, and really nobody missed Doom Patrol, but they sacrificed themselves to save an island of people, if I believe I'm correct. It touches on a lot of things Grant Morrison obviously was thinking about a lot at that time, especially with the Negative Woman who actually transitioned from Negative Man to Negative Woman. Grant Morrison's been very open about his sexuality and how he identifies himself. So you could tell there's a lot of him being written into this, which actually works for characters who are not very well known. Okay, so yeah, if I stretch the spine a little bit, we should be good. But let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there's an eye. It's a little tight, and I could tell the pages are. They're a little tense. There's a lot of fun stuff where he incorporates characters that are just bizarre. Like, there's a guy running for president called Mr. Nobody. So he has all these signs posted everywhere. It says "Nobody for president." Slight political satire. If you like goofy off the wall, but still coherent storytelling, this will do it for you, because I promise you'll understand what's happening. You won't see what's coming though. The next one we're going to be talking about is The Invisibles, which is an original graphic novel by Grant Morrison. So this is another one that is in print, but I wouldn't count on it being in print for indefinitely. This is 100% Grant Morrison. There's almost he takes influences from media that he really enjoys, music, comic books, movies, and he makes his own story. That is a little hard to follow at times if you don't understand who Grant Morrison is. So my actual advice to anybody before cracking this open is maybe watch a YouTube video about Grant Morrison, a 5-minute documentary, just so you could actually kind of understand where he's at. I mean, this guy Grant Morrison's into a lot of psychedelics, a lot of metaphysical sciences. He's very spiritual, but not in a traditional way. And yeah, he just has a very different view on the world and in life, and even parallel lives. So you'll know what I mean if you are a Grant Morrison fan, or if you go watch some of those videos. So yeah, Grant Morrison, he writes these stories about a group of, basically they're like outsiders, not too dissimilar from Doom Patrol, but more they're like characteristics of himself. This character, obviously, I mean, even the art style is very similar to how he looks in real life. The plot of this, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna be able to explain it too easily. So if you're interested in Grant Morrison as a person, this is where I would let you know that this is your story. All right, so let's look at that spine. So this is another one of those gigantic thick books. The spine's really good, actually. Like, it's pages aren't coming off. That's pretty dang good. Gutter loss is pretty good, as in there's not that much of it. So yeah, Invisibles. This is just a story about Grant Morrison, not an autobiography. It's just him.